podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine.
Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans.
For basketball fans.
Finn James.
Will Tremaine.
Back again with another episode. Jeez, I think I say that every time we actually intro an episode, but it's season 2 episode
It's fitting.
19.
Yeah.
And we're entering the business end of the NBL 26 season, Will.
We are. Playoffs are just around the corner. Unfortunately, they're probably not going to have our New Zealand break, is it?
No.
But there's still a chance mathematically.
God, you know you're clutching at straws when it's a mathematical chance to make the playoffs.
We would need to win both of our last 2 games and Tassie to lose both of their last 2 games. And then even then it would come down to points percentage. Is that how they do it?
I think
or
so,
points
yeah.
differential?
Yeah, well, whatever it is.
Whatever the
but
tiebreaker is.
It is looking increasingly unlikely as the rounds go on. However, we still have we will have a third game in the Ignite Cup final. But
Yes.
I'll be honest, the more that we lead into this game, the less confident I become with how many bloody injuries the Breakers just have throughout this NBL season.
Yeah, Kareem Lopez's one's kind of come out of nowhere. I think
know.
it'll be interesting if we actually see him again in a Breakers jersey.
Yes,
I think that's very realistic.
That's a
but
huge.
We do not.
That's a huge talking point for this episode, I think, and we'll be getting into that a little bit later on. Of course, skip anywhere in the time codes down below if you want to skip to anywhere throughout the podcast. We'll of course be going over a little bit NBL news from the last round. There's 2 stories that I wanted to bring up to you, Will, that I thought were quite interesting. Of course, we'll look over the 2 Breakers games this round. We had the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix at Event Finder Stadium on Thursday night, as well as we actually had a 2-game homestand. We had the Illawarra Hawks on Saturday night at Spark Arena, and then we'll look quickly over the rest of NBL round 20, have a look at the table, see how it's stacking up as we only enter the last 2 rounds of NBL, look who we're playing next round, and then I feel like a big talking point of this episode, although we do mostly focus on our local hoops, the NBA trade deadline. I honestly completely unexpected as to what unfolded, in my opinion, Will.
I agree.
There were some stupid trades, some pretty good trades, and everything in between. So we'll be diving a little bit more in depth into that as well. And we also have some press conference from audio with myself and Petteri Koponen post the loss against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as well. But without further ado, we'll get into some NBL news. And well, Will, I'll build up this first story. Last night in the Sydney Kings versus Southeast Melbourne Phoenix game. First of all, a lot riding on this one.
Yeah. Battle of the 2 top teams,
Yeah.
pretty much, with Adelaide's slight decline, you could
Yeah.
say, in performance. So this was a big one, and I think Sydney made a statement.
Sydney definitely made a statement. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the story that came out of this, things that got a little bit chippy. Owen Foxwell and Kendrick Davis got into a little bit of a scuffle, a kerfuffle, I like to call them.
Yeah.
And, everyone thought Kendrick Davis, first of all, kicked Owen Foxwell on the ground. So that started. Josh King's telling him to go upstairs. There's all this stuff going on. And then finally, it calms down a little bit. But Owen Foxwell, being the cheeky bastard that he is,
Oh,
really
shots fired right
gets
there.
into Brian Gourjian's ear, Sydney Kings head coach. Called him a bitch, and then said F you to him 3 times. And got a tick. And
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Josh King was not happy. Josh King in the post-match press conference said, I have a lot of respect for Brian Gourjian, but that was very disrespectful and unnecessary is the words that he used. Why is he calling my player a bitch and saying F you 3 times?
Yeah, he was obviously standing up for his guy Kendrick, who's MVP candidate this season. But no, it's pretty funny to see when there's altercations like that on the basketball court. But Owen Foxwell, he seems to be good at kind of instigating things, and getting under people's skin. But he's a phenomenal player, obviously a candidate for most improved, I think. Probably that 3rd guy behind Sam and Flynn Cameron. He's also someone that we're familiar with. Played Taranaki as last year.
He played
in
well
South.
Played well as well.
So no, he's a player with a bright future, kind of like a mini Dylan Brooks of sorts.
Just being a pest.
Yeah, being a pest.
Good
but
player.
a good player, for sure.
If you were in Brian Gourjian's shoes, are you telling him to F up? Or like
no,
F you?
I think
It's a little too far,
I think as a professional coach at like one of the highest levels of basketball, you got to be a bit more professional than that. Be able to keep your cool in scenarios like that. But we all have our bad days where we just lose it, and that was obviously one of his.
Yeah.
Owen Foxwell was the recipient of his wrath.
Owen Foxwell didn't do much just other than look at him and kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Gourjian said in the post-match presser that he was saying something to him that instigated this. Once again, not surprised. But no one knows what Foxwell said to
I mean,
Gorge.
as many people know out there, sometimes all it can take is that little smirk and like
Oh,
laugh
yeah.
at your face. That's all you need to like flip that switch and be like, oh, they don't need to say anything.
Nah.
That's it.
Just look at him a bit funny. Eh?
That might be worse actually than saying something sometimes. So I can kind of see both sides, but yeah, he definitely deserved a tech for sure.
Oh yeah, and it was a heated game, like you said. The two probably best teams in the competition right now, battling it out for to advance. Really, the top two teams to the semifinals automatically, trying to escape that play-in tournament. So it was a lot of riding on that game. But some other news that came out in the last week or so in the NBL. Tyler Harvey, this was kind of in the works, but he's officially been granted citizenship for Australia. So yeah, awesome news for Tyler Harvey. And this was just before their game against the Adelaide 36ers, which we'll get into in a little bit. They actually were down 16. They got the win. And in the post-match press conference, he was wearing a Boomers shirt with Tyler Harvey written on the back because a fan gave it to him courtside.
Yeah, this is seeming to become a lot more of a like prevalent thing in the NBL. You obviously have Bryce Cotton, who's now an Australian citizen. Tyler Harvey's now obviously a citizen. And then you got, I think, Milton Doyle. I know he was expressing interest. I don't know what his status is in terms of becoming a citizen. And then you even got like Parker Jackson Cartwright's expressed interest in being a New Zealand citizen and playing for the Tall Blacks one day. So a lot of these imports that are coming over from mainly the States, but other countries as well, that they love it like down under so much that they just, I guess, want to stay here and see a future here, playing in the NBL, wanting to play with like a lot of their teammates in the international jersey, I guess. Like you had Sam Menenga and a bunch of other Breakers players playing for the Tall Blacks during that break. Parker Jackson Cartwright's probably just sitting at home in Auckland, wherever he is, just watching them play, and it's like, damn, I wish I could be getting reps up with my boys. So I think that's probably a big reason why these guys are like motivated to become citizens. But you love to see it. I think it's cool. I think for players like Tyler Harvey, I think it will still be hard for him to make the Boomers team, if I'm being honest. I think Bryce Cotton, he's like a lock to be a Boomer, but Milton Doyle, Tyler Harvey, those guys might struggle to make a Boomer squad because, I mean, those Aussies just have so much depth nowadays.
They're taking over the NBA. Well, not taking over, but like there's the amount of players that are becoming eligible, well, not eligible, but like that level of play to make the NBA is huge. And Casey Prather is actually another one that's expressed interest because his wife actually, her name escapes me. She's on the NBL broadcast team, so she lives here with
Aussie.
Yeah, well, no, she's American. She's American. They're both American. Yeah, they both live here. But yeah, I think that was really cool for Tyler Harvey to get that. But there's a little bit of cloudiness around what his contract looks like because he signed a 2-year extension as an import.
Right.
So there's been a few different, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but people are confused whether he's a local next year or an import next year. And I think
he's got to be a local, right?
I think he's still on. I'm not too sure. I was trying to follow it, and someone said one thing, then another reporter said another. So I guess.
But I mean, Bryce Cotton signed
exactly what I was thinking.
36ers as an import, then got his citizenship, and they made him local.
That's what I was thinking. But is it because he's already played 1 year on his contract? They can't change it. They might have voided Cotton's contract and then made him sign another one before the season started.
Let's do the same with Harvey then.
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure what. I probably need to do a little bit more digging into that, but yeah, I'm not sure what it will look like. But this is really good news for Illawarra. One, they're going to retain Tyler Harvey for a lot of years now, an extended period of time, because obviously he's been already there for, I think this might be his 4th or 5th season for Illawarra. It's a long time. So obviously he likes the city. We won't see him leaving. And he's also been a really prevalent and key piece of that team, especially in their finals run last season. So
now you got an elite like stack of local players on that Hawks team going forward with Tyler Harvey, Will Hickey, Sam Froling. Those are 3 guys that are all like at that level of import type of player, and they're not imports. So I think definitely watch out for the Illawarra Hawks, especially with coach Justin Tatum as well.
If he hangs around, it's going
to be a dangerous team if he hangs around.
Yeah, because this was probably the worst season I've seen a team back up after winning.
Yeah,
But
and speaking of Aussies as well, like in the Boomers and stuff, the Aussies have been popping off in the NBA lately. Jock Landale,
that was so unexpected.
Traded to the Jazz, and then he was like on a flight to Salt Lake City, I think, and the Jazz called him and were like, "Land your plane, turn around."
Was he already flying?
He was flying to Salt Lake City, apparently.
I thought he hadn't.
They told him, land your plane, you're not coming to this team now. We've traded you onto the Hawks. He like went back to Memphis, where he was on originally, and then he drove 5 hours from Memphis in his car down to Atlanta.
Is that where they played their first game?
And their first game was against the Jazz, who had just traded for him and then fucking traded him on. Oh, excuse me. And then he dropped 26 points and 11 rebounds on the
killed
Jazz.
Them. Hit a few threes.
Yeah.
Had the post-game interview was great as well.
It was.
Yeah, he kind of explained the whole thing. That's crazy. That's the NBA for you, though. It's like, we'll get into the trades a bit later, but the Mike Conley story in this trade deadline as well was hilarious.
Sure. Yeah.
3 teams. He's like, man, I'm too old to be traveling around. Let me just get bought out and get signed by the Timberwolves again. But yeah, so that's kind of all the big news that's kind of happened around the NBL and loads in the NBA, but we'll get into that in the back end of this. But we'll get into Breakers round 20, what kind of unfolded. So, after last week, where we beat Melbourne in a huge game, and then we lost to Tasmania, which was heartbreak by that 1 point, David Johnson's 3. I thought our playoff hopes were essentially out the window. There had to be a bit of a miracle for us to even have a chance at making it. And then Thursday night, we were playing one of the best teams in the NBL, an incredibly hot team in the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And, surprisingly, actually, we'll get into this first. Kareem Lopez, literally, I don't know, hours before the game, I saw an early on report, had Judd Flavel on Sport Nation as well. He kind of talked about how he'd done something to his knee. I think it was maybe 2 hours before the game, they announced that Kareem Lopez wouldn't be playing. And Parker Jackson Cartwright had also been battling illness all week, but he still took the court. But Kareem was at the game. I saw him there. No straps, no nothing, no braces. He was just walking around freely in street clothes, breakers clothes. So
I'm skeptical about these sort of reports,
I'm not sure what's happened.
Knee injury randomly when the games are somewhat more meaningless now because we're not going to be able to make the 6, and Kareem Lopez is a top lottery pick in next year's NBA draft. I think most people can put 2 and 2 together. Not saying that that's 100% because who knows, maybe he is injured, but it's just brings skepticism to the mind, especially after situations like old mate RJ Hampton a few years back, where he just suddenly, need to go back to the US because my injury's too sore. So I don't know how much I can read into these sort of things.
It is weird. We're not going to probably make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've got 3 games left in the NBL season, 5 when he was injured. And who knows? Has his agent hit the boys up? You need to shut him down.
Yeah.
You need to make sure he's healthy for pre-draft workouts. Look, it is fishy, but we spoke to Kareem post the Melbourne game.
Yeah.
And we asked him, and he looked at us in the eye. A young 18-year-old, probably not going to lie to the media, saying, I want to be here, I want to win, I love this team. So
don't get me wrong.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But it is, I can completely understand, actually. It would make a lot of sense to shut a young player like this down where there's no meaningful... Can his stock even get much higher in 3 games?
Probably not. Yeah. And you're somewhat ending on that high note from that Melbourne game.
Yeah.
You did have a bad game after that, but maybe scouts can look past that. But yeah, I think, like you said, we spoke to him. He said he wanted to play. I don't doubt that for a second. I think if it was up to him, he'd be out there every game trying to win, do his best. But like you also said, it might not be completely up to him. His agent might be giving the call and being like, look, mate, I know you want to play, but this is what's best for your future. Just prevent injuries. You need to be ready for the NBA draft workouts. That's the long-term goal for him, obviously.
Yeah, and I asked Cop in the post-match press, so you'll hear that in a bit. I asked him, and he essentially said he didn't know the extent of it, and he doesn't know all the details, which just makes it even a little bit more cloudy to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not really too sure, but yeah, regardless of this game, we played Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. It was 52 all at halftime, which was very surprising. I thought, wow, we're actually keeping up with these guys, but Josh King must have gone into that locker room with a megaphone and shouted at everyone because they ended up blowing us out by 31 points in the second half.
They turned into that same Southeast Melbourne team that obviously dropped, 72 on us
in a half
weeks back. Yeah,
we almost beat them that game though, to be fair.
We did.
But yeah, we just everything capitulated essentially. I talked to Josh King after the game as well, and he said the main thing was defense. How are they letting a battered Breakers team score 52 points? So they just kind of locked in and turned the defense up, and they held us to 32 points and a half compared to 52.
31. Yeah.
So 31, you're right. So yeah, but if we do scan our eyes over the box score, really decent performance I thought from Isaiah Brockington in this one. Had 21 points on pretty decent efficiency.
Yeah.
This is what I expected from him all season after the blitz, and I don't know if this is entirely his fault. This season,
I think it was just maybe the emergence of Sam and how much of an offensive weapon he became kind of limited Brockington's role. But with him out, Brock's kind of become that number one guy now.
Yeah, and then he's just flourished as well. And we'll look at the Hawks game too. He was just absolutely outstanding. Parker Jackson-Cartwright in this one, 15 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, battling a bit of an illness and got ejected in the fourth quarter just after a no call that definitely should have been a foul. I had a very clear view of it. 100% was a foul. Got shoved out of bounds. No call. And I think a mix of everything, him being a bit sick, the frustration that he's kind of had the last few rounds of not getting many calls, I feel like recently, the fact that they were down, he wouldn't shut up. I mean, he just got tossed and just kind of walked out. So
happens to the best of us.
Yeah, but the big positive from this game, then another player who I think has really stepped up in recent times is Ty Webster. He was excellent in this one, 16 points, really good efficiency, just tried his best and thought he played quite well.
The perfect backup point guard, the Parker Jackson-Cartwright.
Yeah.
We need to keep him around, like, going forward for sure.
He'd probably have a big circle around him for next season.
Yeah.
Depending on what his off-season plans are. I know he was in Europe before he came over, I think playing in France. And, I think in a few episodes' time, we're probably going to do our likes and dislikes and a season review of the Breakers once it's all said and done after the February 22nd Ignite Cup final. But yeah, that's definitely somebody, a little teaser, I think that you and I both agreed on, that needs to be back next season.
He's definitely just come in and like, no shade to Taylor Britt. Like, he was supposed to be our backup point guard most of the season. He just wasn't it. Like, I'm sorry.
He's just not that next level up from Sells, unfortunately. Which, it's funny because I was decently high on him in Sells.
Yeah.
He won MIP, I think.
He's good in the Tall Blacks jersey as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe he likes getting coached by Judd Flavel or something. But
might have something to do with
Ty Webster is just clearly like, he's a
level
bigger
above.
point guard. He's better defender. He can score the ball in the paint. I think he's just, and he's a Kiwi, so he fits like the Kiwi motto going forwards with the Breakers. I think for sure he's someone that we need to like target to make sure we get him back on even like a long-term deal.
Yeah, I agree. And if we look at the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix box score, just two players in particular, Nathan Sobey, unsurprisingly, 21 points.
Yep.
Didn't shoot the ball well on the night. He actually started off like really poor. But Nathan Sobey being Nathan Sobey, I don't think he cares. He's 34. He's an older guy. If he's got the ball in his hand, he's getting it up there and finished with 21. And Ian Clark as well was just excellent. 23 points in 20 minutes. Like, honestly, the perfect pickup for Southeast Melbourne going to the back end of the season. He's going to be huge in the finals.
Yeah, those two have been cooking up all season long for them. Obviously, when Ian Clark joined the team. And to have him off the bench, that's massive for them in the playoffs, for sure.
Yeah, it's massive. And yeah, here's some press conference audio from Cop and myself, and we'll be back and we'll dissect what happened on Saturday night. A little bit more of a positive note.
Cop, unfortunate result today. I guess we'll start with Kareem. Late call out, I guess, with his injury. Is it something we should be concerned about going forward for the rest of the season?
Well, I don't know all the details, everything yet, and we'll see. I really hope he's coming back and he's there to help us, rest of the year. But we will see. It's not totally my decision, so we will see when we know more.
Had Judd on our radio station this morning. He said Parker was feeling ill this week. Did that play into anything that was going on in the game today, or was he fully healthy?
Yeah, he couldn't practice yesterday, and this shoot around he kind of had to catch up what we wanted to do today, and I think he gave the effort, especially first half. But in our team, we are sometimes too dependent on him, and he gave great effort first half. Maybe I played in way too much also, but he was playing well and the team was playing well, and then we paid the price in the second half a little bit, but and like I said, good 20 minutes, we just couldn't keep it up, and the second chance points and the turnovers were a big problem, especially in the second half.
You're pretty close to where Parker got thrown out of the game in the fourth quarter. What actually unfolded?
I think he just gave his opinion to the referee about a few situations, and let's leave it there.
Offensive rebounding, like you said, was going to be a tough one tonight. How hard is somebody like John Brown in particular to stop on the offensive glass?
It's tough, and their length and athleticism, what they have on the floor, and not only John Brown, everybody. Lewis was amazing also today, and how with their physicality and how they crash the boards, and we didn't have an answer today. We talk about this, you need to box out, try to keep them out of the paint when the shot goes up, but with their length, and they've been doing this all season, and that's big weapon for them, and like I said. They're playing really, really well, and maybe one of the best teams in the league at the moment with Sydney.
How are you as a coach and coaching staff approaching each game with all the different injuries on the team at the moment? Every team's different in the NBL, so how do you prepare for every game with sort of the circumstances you're dealing with at the back end of the season?
Yeah, it's not easy, but mostly it's not easy for the guys. No really preparation. Some guys have to play different positions and try to learn through film. You learn through short preparations. But basketball doesn't work like this. You need reps. You need you need to get comfortable with few of the things. But I think the guys gave the effort, and we keep fighting. We keep trying to. Do everything the rest of the year and compete with these teams.
When do you start putting all of your focus as a team on the Ignite Cup final?
Well, we'll see. Every game we're still preparing. We are, try to take it game by game and try to fight. I still believe in some of our chances and go there to compete, do our best, and this is I think I told the guys also, this is the less what you can, to do this group. We spent all year together, it's not time to quit now. Keep fighting, keep playing together, doing the things right way, and that's it. But obviously, like you said, we still got something big coming up in a few weeks, and that's something we want to be healthy as possible, and I hope we can get some guys back. But let's see, but like I said, we take game at a time and keep fighting.
I guess something on the brighter side, Parker actually set a new franchise record for assists in a regular season for the Breakers. Has it been a joy to watch his development go from a scorer in previous seasons to more of a playmaker and sort of having two threats to of offensive game?
Yeah, and he's, like I said, he's been amazing for us. He's the leader of this group, and the things he can, do on the floor, and the pace, how he can play and find the guys. And they had great connection also with Sam throughout the season. They found that connection, and that pick and roll game. What they were doing was really, really good, and just happy and privileged to be able to coach a guy like him, and he's keeping better. Still as a coach, you always see the things he can improve, some of the decision making, but the things what he's giving us is just amazing.
Is Max's knee okay?
Well, you can ask Mac. He's fighting. Not 100% definitely, but he's giving everything what he got at the moment and trying to help the team.
Saturday night, you got Illawarra. With these injuries, are we going to see more of the maybe development players getting a bit more run? We'll
see. Every game is different, but these short turnarounds. And like I said, we got a little bit tired in the second half, and we had to save some energy for Saturday and try to, think also that game. And happy to saw Jack out there, Liam and Nodi, and, they are really good guys, working hard every day, and I hope really their moment will come in the future.
As always, it's good to catch up with Cop post-game. There was a big loss, so obviously wasn't the happiest guy. And yeah, like I said, he couldn't really tell us much about Kareem Lopez's injury, but that's okay. But leading into Saturday night, a little bit more of a positive note. After the game against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, with all these injuries, Max Darling looked like he'd absolutely ruined his knee, which, ended up he did. He only played 3 minutes in this game against the Hawks, but came out with a win.
Yeah, I was blown away.
Me too, especially after what the Hawks did against Adelaide this round. And to be fair, I feel like we were in control for a majority of this game. We've had the Hawks number every time we've faced them this season. I don't think we've lost them yet.
No. And technically keeps our playoff hopes alive.
Technically speaking. But yeah, this was great. And once again, Isaiah Brockington, 27 points, just been on another level. And he shoots very efficiently every game he's played in.
Yeah, he's, like I said in the previous game, he's been our number one guy since Sam went out. That's what I thought we were going to get from him all season long when I predicted him to be our MVP of the league.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then Parker as well. I think he's picked up his scoring aspect of his game as well since Sam left out, in my opinion. I think his assists are a bit down. Obviously, he got a lot of those to Sam, but his points seem to be a bit up. He had 23 in this one. Eight boards as well. I mean, we say it all the time.
Sneakiest rebounder in the league.
It's insane how many rebounds he gets for like his size.
I don't know what he averages, but I'd say it's at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like, and he's 5'9", 5'10" on a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah.
They're lying about that. He's probably like 5'7", 5'8".
Nah, surely not.
I don't know.
Surely
man.
not.
So yeah, those two are backcourt. Obviously leading us to the win in this one. Also, special mention to Jack Andrews, who hit 2 threes in this one.
Yeah. Max Darling out, played 3 minutes because he's nursing that knee injury. Jack Andrew came in, filled that void, and yeah, hit 2 threes in the, I think it was the second quarter.
Just what you want from a DP.
Yeah, it was great. It looked like he was quite
sure.
confident shooting the ball out there too, which was awesome. Ty Webster backed up his performance on Thursday with another great performance on Saturday. 17 points, 6 of 8 from the field. Has just been very good. And then Rob Lowe and Ruben Tarangi, I thought, were actually really solid in this game as well. Rob Lowe actually had JaVale McGee's number, hit 3 threes in this one. Rob Lowe, shout out Robbie.
JaVale just can't move his feet that quick out on the perimeter as a big man anymore, so I think that speaks to why his game minutes were limited, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, we've been an absolute matchup nightmare for Illawarra this year because JaVale can't, like you said, play perimeter defense on our bigs, and we're a team that stretched the floor all year with the likes of Rob Baker and Sam Meninga. So every time we've played them, Sam has had an absolute field day against JaVale, and although Rob is definitely not that level, he hit 3 threes because JaVale simply could not get out to the perimeter.
Yeah, sags too much.
They had to bench him. I think he played 13 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
And just speaking of JaVale, 13 minutes, still finished with 15 and 7. So like
He's
offensively,
offensive,
he's great, but I mean, defense is going to win your basketball games at the end of the day, isn't that right, Will?
Exactly. Tyler Harvey, like we just mentioned before, the new Australian himself, he had 19 points for Illawarra in this one. And then an unexpected Todd Blanchfield, 19 points off the bench.
Yeah, in the back end of that game, fourth quarter, he was hitting some bombs.
Yeah.
Good player, lots of experience. Always good to have him in the locker room. But yeah, like you said, Will, this somehow kept our playoff hopes alive.
Yeah. Mixed bag on the week, 2 home games, 1-1. And we'll need a miracle from here to make the 6. But we still do have that Ignite Cup final to watch out for, so we got something to root for, I suppose.
Yeah. Man, imagine if we just got on a plane to the Gold Coast, you and me.
Any sponsors? Fun. Any sponsors?
Yeah, anyone want to... Breakers, you want to fly us out with the team? Could be keen.
I mean,
do some content.
You'll have the money to afford to fly us out there after you win the Ignite Cup final.
Yeah. 400k to the 300k to the players, 100k to the club. I mean, I'm just saying.
And 100k to the Fast Break podcast.
I'll come for free. You just got to pay for my flight and accommodation.
I'll come for free. You just got to pay for my flight, and I'll sleep on the street.
Damn. See, he's more likely to go than me.
Yeah. In fact, I'll get a boat over there if you really want me to. If we're on a budget, guys.
They're probably more expensive than getting a flight.
Yeah, true.
God. Let's have a look at NBL round 20, Will. What stood out to you throughout these rounds? We'll go through all the games, of course.
Yeah, we'll run through these pretty quickly. We want to obviously cover the NBA a bit more today with the trade deadline and stuff. So we'll go through the scores, a couple players that stood out in each game. Starting off, Illawarra got the job done against Adelaide. Adelaide have been struggling a little bit lately. Having some losses that they cannot be affording to have.
Imagine if they lost to us if it wasn't for Bryce Cotton.
Exactly. Yeah. In this one, Tyler Harvey, 22 points and 6 threes. Again, stepping it up now that he's an Aussie. Will Hickey as well, off the bench. Yeah. 22, 5, and 10 on 11 for 15 shooting.
Yeah, it's a good game.
So having those two as Australians, that's massive for Illawarra. And then Bryce doing Bryce things, 28 points and 9 assists for Adelaide.
And they blew a 16-point lead in like the back end of the fourth quarter.
Insane.
Wani Swakala Bullock got the game winner. Little tap-in.
We move on to Tassie versus Brisbane. Tasmania 114, Brisbane 70. No surprises there. Nick Marshall, 31 points, 12 for 13 shooting.
Shout out Nick Marshall. Shout out Dylan Wilkie's favorite player. And, Nick Marshall, what a player.
Yeah. For Brisbane, Maldonado with 18 and Norton with 17. So
yeah, well, I mean,
keeping them afloat.
This was always going to happen, wasn't it?
Exactly. Next game, Finn, what do we have?
Wildcats and the Taipans, Perth, unsurprisingly, who have, I think, now jumped Melbourne in the standings as well.
Yep.
We'll get into that in a little bit. 98-84. JLA was huge. 27. I think he finished. Oh, it was Dylan Winlett finished with 11 boards. Yep. Christian Doolittle, though, 32 points. Such an underrated player this year, in my opinion. He's been
those
excellent.
two are one of the best duos in the league as well.
Yeah, I think they're just...
Despite their little...
I think they're chill now.
Head clash, yeah.
Perth, man, I feel like they go under the radar. They could cause some upsets in the playoffs.
For sure.
And if you look over to Cairns as well, Andrew Andrews, 25-7. Mo King, 21. That's a player as well that I need the Breakers to target next season.
Yep.
And McVeigh, bit of a down one for him, 18 points, but he's been pretty damn good this back end of the season.
For sure. Adelaide did get a much-needed win, 87-78 over Melbourne. Golding and Doyle, 18 and 17 respectively, off Doyle off the bench for Melbourne. Cheatham had 19 and 9 for Adelaide, and Rakocevic, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 8 for 9 shooting.
Yeah, that's a good showing from the European
lots
giant.
Lots of efficient showings this round in the NBL.
Yeah, and this is after Rakocevic and had that scuffle with Brisbane a few weeks ago. So that 1 game suspension, now he's back in action.
Exactly. Moving on, we got Sydney 114, Southeast Melbourne 88. Big game, top of the table clash.
This is where the fight happened.
Yeah.
Brian Goorjian.
Crazy.
If you.
Can't believe Sydney blew them out by this much. That's massive and definitely going to give them lots of hope going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sobey and John Brown with 15 apiece for Southeast Melbourne were their top scorers. So obviously that explains the loss somewhat. Because you need them. You need Sobey to be in the 20s. You do. Kendrick Davis, another statement. 30 points, 9 assists.
Mate, I'm telling you now. We'll get into this in a few weeks' time as well when the award ceremony is close by. I'm telling you, he actually might jump Bryce Cotton.
He might have already done it.
It's close.
And lastly, Xavier Cooks, 20 points, 8 for 8.
Yeah, that's the Cooks I know. Game. That's the Cooks of old, man.
He was cooking, you could say.
I can't believe you just said that. In the last game of the round, Ken's got an 81-72 win over Brisbane. Terry Taylor did show out with 25 and 9, but Jack McVeigh, 22. Andrew Andrews, 12 and 10.
Battle for not holding the wooden spoon.
The wooden spoon, yeah. And if we have a look at the ladder, see how it's stacking up. With that win for Adelaide over Melbourne, they do jump back into first at 22 and 9. Sydney are 21 and 9. So they're 1 game behind Adelaide, so have a chance to jump them as well. Southeast Melbourne 21 and 10. Perth are 19 and 11. So they're actually coming pretty close. Like I said, they jumped Melbourne, who have fell to 18 and 12. And then you got Tassie, 14 and 17, Breakers, 12 and 19. So the Tassie needs to lose their next 2 games. We need to win our next 2 by decent margins as well. So it's very unlikely we'll be in the playoffs. Illawarra, 11 and 19, they've fallen out. And obviously Cairns, 9 and 22, Brisbane, 6 and 25. So
Illawarra, realistically, they have a game in hand on us and Tassie. If they won all of their last games and Tassie lost the last 2, they would still hypothetically have a shot as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Differential.
That's true. They won their last 3. Yeah, you're right, actually.
So,
but they're quite low on points percentage, I think. So don't see how they would potentially jump. But if we look ahead to this round, NBL will be round 21.
Yep.
We'll have the Adelaide 36ers in Adelaide. I think it's on Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. New Zealand time. What do you genuine thoughts going into this game?
We're gonna lose.
Yeah, 100%.
But if we somehow manage to scrape away with a win, who knows? Because our last game is against Cairns, and that should be a free win.
And then the Ignite Cup final is against Adelaide. So this is like a little preview.
So we could go 2-0. And if we went 2-0, then we look over to Tassie. They've got Southeast Melbourne in one of their games. Should be a loss.
But they also have Illawarra.
Yeah.
So, but Illawarra have been playing some better basketball recently.
Who knows?
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
They have.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to unfold. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Wrap up to NBL 26.
I just want to see Kareem Lopez play again.
Yeah. Surely the Ignite Cup final, right? Something on the line.
I just feel like we're a bit hard done by if he doesn't play. I mean, he obviously likes playing for the team. But yes, I guess injury is a thing. He's got a big future ahead of him, whatever. But it would be nice. But that's all for NBL. We've left a little bit more extra time for us on this episode so we can really kind of dissect what's happened at the NBA trade deadline the week that's just gone.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot more happened than I thought, to be honest. It got to, I think, 2 days before or a day before, and I mean, really not that much had happened, and then everything kind of just unfolded, I thought.
Yeah. No, it's been pretty crazy. Some names that I thought would have been moved have not. Some names that I did not expect to be getting moved have been moved.
Yes.
But, I mean, let's go down in order of essentially the biggest ones, I guess you could say. Anthony Davis, I think, to Washington.
Probably the biggest
Arguably
trade.
the biggest.
Yeah, I think it is the biggest.
That or James Harden, I guess. I think it's one of those two.
Yeah.
AD's kind of, I don't know what to expect from AD going forward. I think he's at that point in his career where, especially he's obviously out for the rest of this season. I think next season for the Wizards...
Is he actually out for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think next season, he's going to be playing the 4 on the Wizards next to Alex Sarr, who's obviously a young up-and-comer. He's shown lots of potential this season. I think both of them are going to be affected by having to play with one another, to be honest. And I think this will be AD's worst season of his career next year. I mean,
I can see how that could happen.
I'll call it now. I think Alex Sarr averages more points than Anthony Davis next season.
It's not actually a bad take.
Yeah,
Alex
Sarr
Sarr's
is going to be like a 17-7 guy.
Alex Sarr is going to be a very good future big. Like, he's tall, shooting the ball a lot better this season as well, and defensively, he's very good.
Shot blocker. I think he's leading the league over Wemby.
Wow, that's very surprising.
Someone call me out on that.
I don't know. The Wizards are an interesting team for next year because they also, and this trade was massive as well because it wasn't just AD. It was Jaden Hardy, who I think he has actually a lot of potential to be a good player.
Yeah. Had
some good years, good times in the Mavericks until they kind of added a few more. He got shunted down to the bench. They also got D'Angelo Russell, which, I mean, good veteran piece, might not need to play. And Dante Exum as well, who has shown flashes of being decent, especially in that run with Luka Doncic in the finals a few years back. I thought he was quite good. Yeah. He's just struggled with a lot of injury. And the Wizards sent Chris Middleton, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, and there was one more player that has escaped my brain.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
And it was,
I think a couple firsts. It
was 2 firsts, I think, in a few seconds, but pretty big haul for AD. They also got rid of essentially no rotational pieces as well. Like Chris Middleton
was starting for them, but like, he's old and washed as well.
But like in terms of the other guys, like Marvin Bagley wasn't playing too much.
Marvin Bagley was playing for the Wizards. He's been nice. He's averaging 10 points per game.
Yeah, well, you're gonna get rid of him if you got AD coming in. But
for sure.
I don't know. I really thought the Mavericks were going to at least give one season with AD, Cooper, and Kyrie all together.
It's crazy that you traded Luka Doncic essentially for
Chris Middleton. Yeah. And this is the craziest part about this. Nico Harrison was fired before this trade. Nico Harrison got fired way earlier on in the year. So whoever's at the front office, I guess, is Nico Harrison telling them what to do still? Because
they're trying to salvage all the mistakes Nico Harrison made. Imagine the Mavs didn't get the number 1 pick that year and how good Cooper Flagg's been so far. That organization would be rioting in the streets of Dallas.
Cooper Flagg's going to be a star.
He is, for sure.
Like, I don't know who I was talking to, but this was a crazy take. Somebody said Cooper's going to have a better career than Wemby.
Ben Drown.
Probably. Idiot. Nah, it wasn't him, but it was someone.
I mean, if Wemby can't avoid injury then yeah. But if Wemby stays healthy, I think he can be the GOAT. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
He's generational.
Spurs are a dark horse this year as well, just quietly.
They are. The Thunder have been struggling. But yeah, random trade. AD to Washington. Did not see it on the bookies.
Neither did I. I saw that they were going to keep him. And then it just changes. It's kind of like how, Giannis didn't get moved.
Another big one, Finn. This one involves your team as well. James Harden to Cleveland.
Yeah.
For Darius Garland and a first or a second?
A second round pick, yeah. The Clippers had a very interesting trade deadline.
Yeah, we may as well cover the other one as well.
Yeah, so Zubac to the Pacers as well for a pretty massive haul. Received Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks, and we sent Zubac and Kobe Brown.
W Clippers.
We've actually got some youth in our team now, especially with Garland coming, and Mathurin, of course, as well. Big man depth is looking a bit ropeable. I think we're gonna Yannick Conan Niederhauser. I think we're gonna be hopefully not pursuing him, but like trying to develop him into
so
like
much
the next.
Potential, bro.
He's very athletic, big. Just had a pretty good game against the Timberwolves as well, to be honest. But I think around the right playmaker could be good, like maybe DeAndre Jordan-esque, rebounding, athletic type of guy. Obviously, DJ was a first NBA player at one point, so he probably won't be that good. But around that similar like ilk of player. But the Clippers were on a roll, arguably one of the hottest teams in the NBA with our team, and I think there's been reports on both sides of this. This is the James Harden situation where he wanted to get traded to a contender, so we found him a likely spot. Apparently, Houston wanted to go back to Houston, and they said no. Yeah. So Cleveland popped up. That obviously ended up happening. Garland's been pretty injury-prone the last 2 to 3 seasons of his NBA career, so we get some youth. They get a win-now player. which they have a lot of potential. Their roster is incredibly
They've got
stacked.
one season to make the most of James Harden.
Correct.
Next year, I think Harden's going to be like a, who knows, 16 and 6 assist guy.
Yeah. And the Clippers, I don't think we were going to make any moves at the deadline. I reckon I think we might have looked at moving Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think that was the only player that might have been on the market for us. He's obviously still on the team. Other than that, I'm pretty sure if I was in the front office, I wouldn't have made any changes, because not that we probably were going to win this year, but I think we could have made a pretty good push maybe after the first round, considering how good Kawhi Leonard's been this year. James Harden's still been good.
Definitely on the up.
Zubac had regressed a bit. I mean, we were the hottest team in the NBA, but I think after Harden wanted out, which apparently he didn't. He said that as well. I don't know who to believe. As soon as Harden was gone, I think we kind of had to blow it up. And Zubac's value as a player was probably only going to decrease because he was at his peak last season. He wasn't as good this year. The Pacers need a win now center for next season.
If that's the case, why didn't you move Kawhi as well?
Because Kawhi is probably in one of the best seasons of his NBA career.
Yeah, but he's also doesn't fit your timeline, your new timeline of youth.
But he's 34. It's like he's still got 4, maybe 3 good years left of him, I reckon. Obviously, injury is a big part of Kawhi's game.
Are you guys going to be competing for an NBA championship in the next 3 years with just Kawhi Leonard?
Well, a report did just come out that said they are going to discuss Kawhi's future in the offseason. Yeah. So, who knows? He's the only player left with the big...
Send him back to the Spurs, bro, where it all started.
Oh
him
my
and Wemby.
God. That'd be crazy.
Wemby. That would feed families.
Yeah, but in terms of our trade deadline, I think I'm happy. It's bittersweet, like, being a long-time Clippers supporter, and, you know, Zubac was our longest tenured player, like currently on the roster. 7 seasons he'd been on the team.
Who is it now?
I think it's Kawhi.
Fair.
So Zubac had played 7 years. I'd grown quite attached to him. He'd been through all the dark days of the Clippers that we'd had. So it is quite sad to see him go. And James Harden, well, I wouldn't say resurrected his NBA career, but let's be honest, he
somewhat did.
He wasn't great on Brooklyn. He was decent on Brooklyn. He wasn't great on the Sixers.
Philly, yeah.
And he came back and he really was the James Harden of old that we'd all seen. Maybe less athletic and less fast, but he had some incredibly good games for the Clippers. So he brought a lot of joy to myself as a Clippers fan, and we almost made a pretty damn good run at the playoffs last year. If it wasn't for the Nuggets, but
yeah, well, as an unbiased opinion, I think the Clippers did win the trade deadline, and maybe not as like over every other team, but in terms of what they did, what they gave away, and what they got back, I think they won that. For sure.
Yeah, I think we gave up...
You guys needed picks.
Gave up
OKC
2 big pieces.
all of them.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to give the Thunder a good pick this year, so I'm hoping we still make a decent seed.
I think everybody's hoping that.
Yeah, and the Zubac trade, one of the first round picks is 2026 protected though, so if it's the Pacers pick. If it falls between 5 and 9, it's ours for this season, which would change a lot of things for our franchise. Other than that, if it falls into the Pacers between the other whatever areas in the first round, it turns into a 2031 unprotected. So it's quite far in the future. But
who knows?
Clippers took a gamble on trying to get a pick this year, considering, you know, it's a lottery at the end of the day and stranger things have happened. If we get a 5 to 9 lottery pick with Kawhi, Garland, Mathurin, Collins, Chris Dunn, Derrick Jones Jr., like there's a good base here. If we draft a really good big in the draft, if we somehow get it, you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, we'll move on from this poverty-ass franchise, the
Oh
Los
my
Angeles
God.
Clippers, and we'll get into the actual interesting... No, I'm sorry. Triple Jackson Jr., that was a big one.
Triple Jackson Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Triple J.
Triple J, why did I say that?
Triple Jackson Jr.
Triple Jackson Jr. He's gone to the Jazz for a bunch of randoms. Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, a couple other names from the Jazz.
Is Cody Williams in there?
Don't know.
I don't know. He sucks anyway.
Couple picks as well, I think.
What a random trade for both teams.
I like it for the Jazz. The Jazz have got a core of Keontae, Markkanen, Triple J, Walker Kessler when he comes back healthy.
How do you play Kessler, Markkanen, and Triple J?
Kessler at the 5, Triple J at the 4. Markkanen can play the 3.
You're going to play Markkanen at the 3.
He played the 3 on Cleveland. Keontae at the 2, and then Isaiah Collier, who's been looking great lately.
He's been playing 48 minutes a game recently,
and
too.
looked phenomenal. He had a 20-20 game.
Yeah, he's been playing
assists
good.
Or something. So I think for the Jazz, I think it's good. But again, random.
Walter Clayton Jr. looked promising, in my opinion, for their future. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they needed him. But
That whole Memphis team, man, I saw like an edit the other day of Dylan Brooks talking about how they kind of were the Thunder before the Thunder.
They were.
They were the team that were walking out, doing all the extra stuff. They had that core. They were on the rise. They were a playoff team. You had Jar, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr. Now all you've got left is Ja Morant and a Glock to show for it.
I'm surprised I didn't move Jar. As soon as Jaren was gone, I was like, Jar's next. I don't know how.
Yeah. I think his trade value is just teams want him. Like,
that's probably the only thing I can
so
think
low.
of. No one wanted Jar.
And Memphis were just refusing to sell that low on him.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
That's probably what happened. But those are the three like massive ones. But there's a few others in here, obviously. The Warriors needed to make some changes if they wanted a chance. And Kuminga's future with this franchise has been widely spoken about many a times, and he finally got moved to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. I kind of like both of these trades for both teams. I don't know how Kuminga fitting on the Hawks is a bit interesting because he's similar player to Jalen Johnson, if you kind of ask me. Obviously, Jalen Johnson's playmaking ability is far better, but like in terms of tall, lengthy, athletic wings, similar.
Somewhat, but Kuminga's definitely not.
Far worse. Yeah. But like, you see how I mean? They're like quite.
We'll see what he can do with his career, but I think the Warriors might have ruined that for him, if being honest.
Yeah,
I don't know why he didn't get minutes for the Warriors. Like, he definitely showed potential.
Steve Kerr hated him.
Yeah.
Do you like this for the Warriors getting Porzingis?
Not really.
In a last-ditch effort?
I'm very, very low on Kristaps Porzingis.
Injury prone.
I think he sucks, if I'm being completely honest. Ever since he left the New York Knicks, he's not been a good NBA player. I mean, he went to the Mavericks. He was all right in that first season. I always remember seeing like the stats that Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic were the same 2K rating in that first year of being in Dallas together, and it's funny to see where they're both at nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't rate him. Don't think he does anything for the Warriors. I think Warriors are going to slide down in the standings. I think we're going to jump them for sure. Call me biased, but I think the Blazers definitely have a better team than the Warriors.
I don't hate that. You guys have been good this year.
Yeah. And then we'll quickly run through some of the other trades. Jared McCain to the Thunder for like a first and a couple seconds. I think good move for the Thunder, if I'm being honest.
He's a perfect fit for that team.
People forget
Literally,
he was a Rookie of the Year frontrunner last year.
Until he got injured. Yeah. And he is, I mean, he's averaging like 9.5 for the Sixers.
He's definitely declined. But
yeah, but that's hard. But
yeah,
the locker room for the Thunder is a perfect fit for Jared McCain. Yes, TikTok and young team. Sure. And he'll be good for that team for sure. And they didn't give up much. They have so much capital. It's ridiculous.
And then we got Cam Thomas was waived by the Nets.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Random.
I understand why.
And then lastly, just all the guards that have been sent to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
How many they have? I think we went through it. They have 8 point guards on their roster now.
They traded some of them, but then got more back in return.
They traded Vucevic for Anthony Simons from the Celtics. That was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
So
Kobe White's gone to the Hornets, and they got Colin Sexton,
another guard back.
Yeah, and then
they gave Ayo Dosunmu to the Wolves, which I like that pickup for the Wolves. I think he's a good point guard to put next to Anthony Edwards. And they got Rob Dillingham and
Jaden Ivey's on their team now.
Jaden Ivey as well.
I don't know how he even got there, but they have a lot of
many guards.
Yeah, I don't know what the Bulls
Ivey,
are thinking.
Dillingham, Sexton, Anthony Simons, all going to the Bulls.
Yeah. What are you doing? And now they don't have any bigs.
Yeah, Vucevic is gone.
Jalen Smith?
Lockie Ulbrich?
Lockie Ulbrich?
Yeah. Random trade deadline.
Yeah,
there's probably a few we've missed out there, guys. But I think those were the biggest ones, right?
Those were definitely the biggest ones.
Yeah.
And for our poll this episode, this was a great segue.
Yeah.
We want to know who you think won the trade deadline. Leave your comments down below. I want to know if it's a team that you support or if it's a team that we didn't really cover off that just happened to pick up a sneaky guy here or there. But which team did the best in the trade deadline, and who's going to have, I guess, the most impactful future with what they've done in this trade deadline? Maybe win now or win later.
Yeah, I don't know what my pick would be. Honestly, maybe just like the Thunder. Like just a small pickup in Jared McCain. They've still kept all of their firsts. The Clippers have also gotten worse, which is going to help the Thunder in terms of those draft picks. The Clippers that they own. Just, kind of sit back and doing nothing may have helped them a lot. I mean, my team, the Blazers, all we did was get Vic Krejci. Gave up Blazers legend Duop Reith. I think the
Blazers legend Duop Reith. He got waived as well by his team that he got traded to.
Bro, Blazers, sign Duop Reith back on the team, or I will riot. He is a legend in Portland.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let us know down below, and we'll be back next week. Hopefully the break is Well, we'll see what happens against the Adelaide 36ers. But yeah, looking forward to it just to kind of keep diving into this NBL stuff. Even when the Breakers season is said and done, it'll be really good to be able to cover with the NBL playoffs this season. I think it's going to be huge.
For sure. See you next week.